Revell 1 in 30. Revell 1 in 32 F-4 test flight Phantom. I've built this kit many a time. And I have only got 30 minutes to do this video because I'm back on my phone and it only lets me record a video for 30 minutes. I've just done it. This is take 2. And 33 minutes in it went, nah, splitting you in half, mate. So instead of doing a shitload of editing, I'm just going to do it again. 1 in 32 Revell F-4F. The inspiration for me to do this bird, instead of doing it as a test flight bird, simply came because when I Googled test flight bird, which is black with the orange check, I weren't keen on the black and orange, and I just I'm not interested. So hit Google Images and just literally started flicking through to see if there were an alternative. And the alternative that came up was not the test flight bird, it was the final flight bird, which is in my favourite two-tone grey camo scheme. So that's where the inspiration came from, this one. Two-tone grey, medium sea grey, dark sea grey, orange fin, orange tips, final flight. Yes, I thought I'll have a bit of that. I've tidied my garage out today, which, as you know, is where I build all my stuff. And in doing so, I have thrown away the plans that came with the kit. So I've had to write some notes down from the photos that I've taken and from the instructions that I downloaded. So without further ado, let's crack on. Start with seats 1 and 2, no issues. Had to cut the grab handles off because the Kits World 3D printed decal set, the upgrade set that I got, you have to cut them off. Number 3, panels, get them sanded flat. That's no drama because I'd bought the red Fox overlays. They went down sweet as anything. Number 4, self-explanatory. Number 5, the instrument panel front and back. I did actually have to bolt that up a little bit. But once all those instrument panels had gone on, all painted, all gorgeous, it looks all right. Okay, number 6, install your seats. Don't need to do that at this point. But at this point, I have, like I say, I've painted it all. I've painted the seats. I've put everything on, all the enhanced decals, etc., etc. And then, like we do, we sort of like start putting bits together just to, oh, that looks nice, just to have a little look. The ejector seats that sit inside the office, they're far too wobbly, so I enhanced that with a couple of side shims of plasticard. Put the seat in, glued a little bit of plasticard on this side, let it go off. Tweezers, little shim of plasticard, put it on this side, dot, let that go off, and then slowly pulled the seat out, and then carefully glued those little shims in with a little bit of, what have I got? A little bit of sprue glue just to stiffen them up. Okay, so picture of assembled cockpit, there it is. What do you think? Is it any good? Is it worth the money? About 50 quid, that upgrade set. Okay, ejector seat, like I said, the 3D upgrade set from Kits World. Would I buy that again? Definitely not. The bang handles look really, really flimsy compared to the ordinary kit plastic parts. There's no instructions on where to put any of the belts. There's no guide. I had to hit Google Images just to try and find something that replicated what I wanted. They look really flat. There's no to bottom at all. They're not expensive, but would I buy them again? No, I wouldn't. Okay. I did actually paint the side ejector seat handle, the black and yellow myself. How does that look? That doesn't look too bad. Step 7, radar. Are you having it open or closed? If you're having it open, there's a little bit to cut off. But mine was, my nose were installed. When you have the radar showing, in my opinion, it doesn't look that sort of authentic. It doesn't look that real. But fill that nose with some steel ball bearings. some tyre weight, some shot lead, whatever you've got, and a bit of blue tack. Don't use super glue because it melts through plastic. Trim your sides off your sprue for your two cockpit halves, and then slide that cockpit into one side. Couple of dabs of sprue go again underneath. You don't need to have it on top. Let that kind of firm up a little bit. Install the second half of your cockpit side. Make sure that that marries up. Let that set. Good to go. Everything's okay so far. Absolutely no drama whatsoever. Okay. The front glass, I did just sit that on because it's one of the first jobs that I do. I do mask off the glass just to make sure that it don't get scratched. Step 9 and 10 radar. Like I've said, I didn't do it, so can't comment. Step 11, build your undercarriage housing up. And again, a flat plate with a little bit of a raise on it, couple of sides, no drama. No drama at all. Step 12, install. When you turn your bird upside down, that nose piece upside down, you have got a tiny little bit of a play on either side. Just centre it up, little bit of sprue go or a little bit of filler. You'll get round it. It's no problem at all. Step 13, your fans. It's dark down those intakes and you can barely see in there. You can gut it down on it. Obviously, I know it's there. Well, I know it's there because I've built it, but it still doesn't mean I have to gut a town on it. But I did. Ish. Number 14, install that. So they go onto a plate. There's some grooves down the inner fuselage. And again, a little bit of sprue go at the back. Let that set. Offer the other side of the fuselage up. Make sure that it's all going to line up and that that plate is neither leaning too far forward or too far back. Once you've got it in middle, gunk some more sprue go down there and it'll be as solid as a rock. Up to press, no problem. Number 15, wing assembly, no drama with that. Number 16, your rear stabilizers, you can leave them off because they are a good fit. And when you come to paint your heat shield, it's best that you haven't got those stabilizers obstructing your way, because when you come to put some masking tape around that, you need all the access that you can get. Okay. Step 17, add your wings. Don't forget to drill your holes if you're fitting pylons, etc., etc. The wings to the fuselage, it's not a 10 out of 10. It is an old Revell kit. It's a 9 out of 10. Might need just a little bit of filler down either side, like mine did. But once you've got your primer on, it's no problem. Okay. Number 18, add that front end. And then stop, because it does ask you to install your air intakes at that point. But I am going to put some pictures up where there's a void at the back of the slat stabilizer. I needed to fill that just for my own sense, really. A little bit of plastic card. I did it in two halves so that I could clamp it down, not to obstruct the centre pin that locates into the side of the fuselage. Little bit of plastic card, like I said, two halves. Made it bigger than what it actually needed to be so that I could trim it down from the outside. You'll see on pictures. And then here's a view from underneath, just to show you. And that completely covered that in. So no problems there. Step 19 to 22, I left those off. 23, I left off the front slats. I painted them separately. There's some ejector pin marks underneath. Fill, sand, blah, de blah. But you can put them in your bits bin. 24, yeah, get that on. 25, opposite side. 26, leave your lights off the edge of the wings. You don't need to put those on just yet. And then once you've done all that, you've basically got your office in. No canopy glass. You don't need to put that on just yet. The body's built, the wings are on, the stabilizers are off. So you can sort of get round to black basing it if that's your preferred method. Bit of mottling, which I did in medium sea grey. And some other tonal colours just to get a little bit of variation. Then while the air intakes were off, I painted those as well, including the orange at the front. Step 27, cans, yeah, metallics, you can get them on, painted black, and then use some extreme metal. AK's extreme metal to paint them up. Arrest a hook on step 28, yeah, you can paint that, but you don't need to add it on just yet. And the parachute detail at the back, you can put that on. Once I'd mottled it all and got those bits done, I painted the top colours, but because you've left the air intake mouths off, you can paint right down the sides of the fuselage there, and then when you come to put your intakes on, it's a much better job. Okay. Painted the heat shield, added the orange. I did actually order some MRP, which I thought was going to be the right colour. MRP 142 turned out to be more yellow than orange. So just poured a bit into a glass, added a couple of drops of Signal Red, mixed that up, and that came out with the orange that I wanted. So that's like the heat shield painted, the birds painted at the top and the bottom. That's all the orange bits painted as well. And then I'm on to next to paint is the undercarriage sort of bays, the front long one and the two under the wings. But I know that because I've got to paint the actual undercarriage white, I thought, well, I might as well build all that, get rid of all little bits of scratch, prime them in black, paint them in white, and then while I've got white in the colour cup, then I might as well do those housings underneath. While I'm doing that, I might as well cut all the undercarriage doors off and the air brakes and everything, get them all cleaned up, prime them in black, insides are white, outsides are the grey colour, so that makes sense, no problem with that. 29, which is that one, yeah, built it all, got white in colour cup, so painted that, killed two birds with one stone, really. But at that stage, didn't install it. No need to just yet. Wanted to concentrate on the decals, because I've got two decal sheets, because I have built this kit before but not used any of the decals, I was able to sort of butcher the decals. There's supposed to be a spook on the top starboard wing. I did want to incorporate that, even though it is like a bit of a what-if bird. Didn't look right on top, so I put it underneath. I've definitely got a picture of that. That went down okay, but I had to just do a little slice where the missile sits and press that big decal in, and then just add a little bit of black paint just to touch that up. But again, absolutely no drama at all. At this point, I glossed it to protect all that paintwork, and I used a bit of the old Modelers United. Where's my camera? There it is. Modelers United gloss. That's available from Modelers United. They're on Facebook, Google, Insta, TikTok, Snapchat. They're on all of them. Modelers United. It's Fred's Foot Shop, Freddy Foot Shop up in Scotland. Okay. Once the decals were on, glossed it again. Just use your recommended PSI, which what it says on bottle. Let that harden, and then all that undercarriage, all the legs, the wheels, the tyres, all the door bays already painted inside and outside, they could all just be added straight on. Don't forget, at this point, I've already decaled it, and I've already done the heat shield, so it's literally done. Two stabilisers on at back end, bit of glue, no problem at all. It's literally done. Okay. The big spook, like I said, solid set, that went down okay. Butchered the rest of the decals because there isn't a decal pack to do a final flight bird, so I just had to sort of make it up as I went along. Same for the nose art as well. Dry fit the pylons and the fuel tank just to have a look at this stage and see how that big spook looks. And when I looked at it, I thought, do you know what? Don't look too bad, that. Don't look too bad at all. For the weathering, because I use MRP and because I've done a lot of pre-work before the top coat, because I know how to use MRP, a lot of that pre-work shows through. So there weren't a great deal of weathering necessary on this particular bird. The weathering that I did do, once I'd matte coated it, it was just touching some oils on and then streaking it down very, very gently with a wider brush and some non-odorless thinner. So that all looked okay. Number 44, step 44, I left that off. The reason that I left it off is because it was at stage 44. And bearing in mind, I've just said that I painted it all. And ideally, stage 44 should be at stage 8. That's how out of whack that particular instruction book is. 45 is a couple of little antennas on the tail. You can leave them off till last. 46 I did actually leave off. 47 you're onto your armament. There's no armament on this particular bird. There's 2 pylons on it, which is what I saw on the Google images. So I built the pylons, but I didn't do any of the missiles, rockets, bombs, etc. But I have built it all before, and I know that it goes together all okay. 60 and 61 is adding your glasswork on the top, either in situ or raised. Mine were raised. 62 is the pitot and the ladder. And the last thing I wrote there were weathering. I kept it light. All the pre-paint work shows through the MRP. Would I build it again? There's a Tamiya. There's a couple of Tamiya 1 in 32 F-4s. I think one's a J, and I have built that. And it's actually the best kit that I've ever built. Yeah, it is. However, that is north of 130 quid. And if you want a 1 in 32 Phantom, it has to be an F, not a J, not the bullet nose one. It's the elongated nose one. The Revell one, I think you can pick it up for, I think there's the Southeast Asia bird, about 50 quid. But if you can pick this test flight bird up, you can probably get it for about 35 quid. And if you want a Phantom in your arsenal, in your trophy cabinet, then yeah, why not? The only problem is there's very, very few decals available for an F4F, which can be converted to an F4E. They're more or less, I think, the same bird, except one's American, and I think that the F is the German bird. I'm not 100%. I'm not a phantom file. I'm not a tomb guy. I think that's just what I've learned along the way. Okay. Would I build it again? Yeah, definitely. That won't be the last one that I ever build. In my cabinet now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Phantoms, all 1 in 32. And my boss has got one at work. So I've built 4 of the Revell kits and the 1 Tamiya kit. The best one by far is the Tamiya kit. But like I said, unless you want to keep splashing 130 quid plus out, but you do want a Phantom, then the Revell kit is the way to go. There are some smaller scales, the 1 in 48s, loads. I know that Zukimura do one, it's absolutely lush. I've not built it, but I've watched many a video on it, and there's plenty of 1 in 172s as well. But I do like the large scale stuff. I entered it into our club competition 2 weeks ago. We had a judge come in, and he judged all the work, 126 entries. I did come top of the aviation class with that particular kit. Even though I've just sort of rattled that off and made it sound like it's an absolute piece of piss, it did take me about 2 months to do it from start to finish. And there is a lot of detail work in there, in the cockpit, in the weathering with the streaking, choosing the correct paint, the weathering, all that pre-shade work. I'm sure that you'll be able to see it on the photos. And up against some stiff competition as well, because Mark Lidd's Spitfire was absolutely stunning. And I actually thought that would win. But so when he shouted my name out for the winner on the aviation class, I'm like, bloody hell, didn't expect that. And then to cap it all off, I did actually take the best in show trophy as well with that bird. But it is really, really nice. And it looks well in my cabinet. Okay. Would I build it again? Yeah. What would I score it? A solid 8. 8 out of 10. For the money, you definitely can't go wrong. It's just a shame that there's a very, very limited range of water slide decals available for that particular F bird, okay? And the ones that are available, you pay more for the decals than you would for the kit. Does that make sense? and that is definitely not what I'm all about. Okay. Enjoyable build, like I say, a couple of months at it. Sat in here on a night, Callum with Paul and James, Dale and others, doing some live streams, concentrating more on live streams that affect the club these days than I have of making my own videos for the kits. But that's just the way it is. I think that were fast. I know that were really, really fast. But I've got to get it, like I say, within 30 minutes and I'm up to 21. It's in my cabinet. Would I build it again? Yeah. Spot on. Yeah, no drama at all. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Up next, now competition for 2024 has finished. I can crack on with the Tram Intruder. But I did want to purchase a 1 in 72 Airfix Vulcan and have a stab at that before I had a stab at that. We are going shopping to Diamond Dave's in Halifax on Saturday, the 7th of December. So if the price is right, I might pick one up there as a bit of a Christmas box. I'm not building so many kits next year. I think it's three for definite, 4 at a push, which might not sound like a lot, but I am a lot more sort of concentrated these days. Bearing in mind, I watched one of my videos other day from when I first started, and I was literally knocking them out every 2 days. It's funny. And posting on Facebook and getting comments from lads and blokes saying, I don't know how you do it so fast. I'm like, you just crack on, mate. You just crack on. How many do you build? Oh, I only build 3 or 4 a year. And even then, I remember sort of back in day thinking, what on earth are you doing? Why the Christ are you taking that long to build a bleeding kit? Now I know. I'm 8 years in, and now I know. Okay. Because time and patience is the best thing that you can have in your arsenal by far. Okay. And I think that just about wraps it up. It's not a long video, 23 minutes long. Okay. What I'll do, I've put loads and loads of progress shots up, or I'm hoping I have. What I shall do now, if I haven't already started, I'll put some of the finished photos up, and then, you know, judge it for yourself. If you like a Phantom, if you like an F-4, just remember, this is the test flight kit that I've Googled and researched and turned it into a final flight kit, where all of the squadrons painted the tails and the wings orange for a bit of a display piece, and that's what I have tried to replicate with this kit. It does look really, really sweet. Okay. And I think, so yeah, if I can't pick a Vulcan up, I'm going to start the Tram. And we'll leave it at that. That's enough for me waffling on. See you next time. Take care. Stay safe. Cheers.